Welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and in this episode, we're taking a look at some sick-looking Bendy figs from the Noble collection. Growing up, I didn't really play with Bendy figs at all. I always thought they were quite hideous and frankly not that fun to play with. But fast forward to today, and now I've become addicted to a certain brand of Bendy figs, and that would be these Bendy figs from the Noble collection. And we've looked at a bunch of different ones that they've done so far, including their Star Trek Bendy figs. We looked at a few of their Harry Potter Bendy figs, and their line is extremely expansive. In fact, we actually saw them at NY Comic Con this year, and we saw some of the brand new stuff coming out. And that included some old favorites that have already been released, like all of their DC Comics characters, which includes classic Universal monsters, Gremlins, and even more members of the monster world out there. They've got Wizard of Oz, they've got Batman, they've got Lord of the Rings, they've even got E.T. right now. But today, we're looking at one of my favorite things in the world, and that would be Avatar: The Last Airbender, because yes, Noble Collection has made Bendy figs of Avatar. If you put Avatar: The Last Airbender on any product, then chances are I'm going to spend money on it. And at NY Comic Con, like I said, we got that whole booth tour of what Noble Collection had, but when we came back on the second day, that's when we discovered Toph just hanging out there. And each day they kept putting out more and more of the Avatar figures, so basically we got a full sneak peek by the end of it. And at last, here they are in my hands, and I have to tell you, I am blown away by these guys already. So yeah, I want to get into this review. Let's just talk about this packaging though real quickly first. And the boxes are what you get with any Noble Collection Bendy fig. It's very much a classic action figure blister card. There's nothing hiding that plastic section here, so you can see everything that this figure comes with and how it looks like from pretty much almost every angle. Wave 1 of these Bendy figs includes Aang, Katara, Toph, and Zuko. The back of the packages has an illustration for whoever that character is in this toy, as well as lets you know who else is in this line. It also lets you know to head over to bendyfigs.com if you want more information about these and other Bendy figs from the Noble Collection. So Noble Collection makes some really awesome stuff. We looked at a ton of things besides their Bendy figs too. They do some great replicas, they do some wonderful chess sets, but again, today we're focused on these Avatar products here. So let's go ahead now and get these toys out of the box and take a closer look at them. And here we go. Here we have now our Noble Collection Avatar Bendy figures out of the packaging. And they were really easy to get out of the packaging, which is always a plus to me. But yeah, I gotta tell you guys, my initial reaction to seeing all four of them, I'm wowed. I'm legitimately wowed here. So, you know, we talked about in the past how Bendy figs, really, their history is not the greatest. They were always kind of like the cheap dime store toys, though, you know, none of us really had dime stores, but you know what I mean. They were kind of like the drugstore toys that you would go into, you'd cry it there waiting for your medication, then your parents would buy you a toy or something. This is what you'd get. Today, Bendy figs have really become an industry unto themselves, and Noble Collection has been really doing some great work, as I mentioned, but these, wow, I mean, these might be like my favorites they've ever done. And we've looked at a lot of their Bendy figs on the channel here, but yeah, no, without a doubt, like, man, comparing them to like the Star Trek, to the Lord of the Rings, to, God, they've done so many, but like, I think these are my favorites ever. So yeah, let's just spend some time really, I guess, looking at these guys. And first things first, let's talk about the likenesses. And do they look like their Avatar counterparts from the cartoons? And I gotta tell you guys that, yeah, that is an obvious big fat yes from me. These things look amazing. Let's get a little bit close up of each of these guys, I think, because they all kind of deserve it. So let's just zoom in real nice and tight here. And let's start with Aang. Why not? Does this Aang look like Aang? Yes. Oh my god, yes. It totally looks like him. This is an outstanding job here. I mean, this looks like he's pulled straight from the cartoon. Likewise with Momo, who is adorable. That's like a perfect Momo right there. Let's turn him over also. Look at that. He's even got the little tail there. That's so adorable. All the tattoos are correct. All the markings are there. I mean, the colors look to be screen accurate as well. Like, this is just perfect. I do want to see, okay, I don't think Momo comes off. Looks like Momo is actually permanently part of him. That's something I was wondering about. It seems like he could come off, but I don't, yeah, it looks like he's not supposed to. So maybe I'm not going to try that any further than I already have. But this looks great. I mean, this is Aang. This is like better than, whew, I'm going to make some enemies here today, folks, but this is a better sculpt, in my opinion, than both Diamond Select and McFarlane Toys' version of Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think this is better than both of those. All right, let's move on over now to Katara. Same question. Does this look like Katara? Yeah, totally. Like, and I'm gonna again say I think the same thing. Like, I think this is better than what McFarlane and what the Loyal Subjects are doing. That's who I was talking about actually. The Loyal Subjects of McFarlane and also Diamond. Yeah, I'm gonna say all three of those guys. I forgot that Loyal Subjects did some figures too. And Loyal Subjects did a very excellent job. We didn't really look at them in this channel because they were just kind of hard to find. And since I haven't actually seen too many of the Loyal Subjects ones out in the wild, I'm just basing this on photos I've seen. But I'd say if it's not better, it's definitely on par. I'll say it's on par. Let's go that far with it. It's a great looking head sculpt again. Look at her hair. She has the little hair thingies there, which we always make fun of in the cartoon. This looks so good. And likewise the detail. I mean, you guys can see she has her amulet on her brooch there. Yeah, there's no paint on detail on that, unfortunately, because it is a very tiny detail, but at least the necklace is there. And again, the colors look just like perfect. They're really vibrant, looking really nice here. I'll show you guys her little boots also, because that's kind of cool. This looks great. And let's move on over to Zuko next as well. And this is Zuko from essentially Season 3. It's Zuko towards the end of the series where he's kind of redeemed himself and is no longer obsessed with honor. I think Zuko might be one of the weaker sculpts of the bunch, but it's still actually not that bad. I think maybe they struggled a little bit with his face and they're trying to figure out what to do with the scar. It's hard to say, because like from the profile especially, it looks good. From the front, he looks a little thick. But again, from like, especially from this side, I think that's like absolutely Zuko right there. Like that's totally him. Something about this side, you know, it looks like him, but there's just something with the cheek structure that's like slightly off. So it's not as good as our Aang and our Katara so far, but it's still really good. This thing still has all the elements that make Zuko who Zuko is. So it might not be like the perfect head sculpt, but it's really darn close. It's excellent. I think it's still really good. I mean, there's the back of his hair as well, so you can see what that looks like. And again, outfit colors are looking very good here. No complaints about that. I mean, he's even got the little pointy Fire Nation boots. So yeah, really nice one here. Let's wrap this one up with our Toph. And I think, you know, Toph actually might be the weakest of the four perhaps, but weakest would mean she's like an 8 out of 10 if the others are all like 9s and I think really high up there. You know, Toph looks really good as well. Yeah, I think the one thing that makes Toph a little bit weird is probably just her mouth, because it's a little bit less pronounced than the other characters' mouths, I feel like. And because her skin tone is also a little bit more pale, it kind of just like falls into her face a little bit. But like the eyes are there, the nose shape is totally correct. Even actually looking at it from like the profile, like that's Toph from the cartoon. Look at her hair, that is exactly her hair too. Yeah, that's actually really good. Okay, so maybe it's not as weak as I thought it was. I think it's just, I kind of wish the features were a little bit more pronounced because of her skin tone, because she is really kind of blending in a little bit to things right here. But I mean, this looks really good. I also love her pose, because it's like her with her fists out like this. And yes, if you're wondering, she does have her bare feet as well, so she can feel the ground. And again, colors too. I think colors are just like completely accurate. Like this is how Toph should look. So let's bring back the rest of our friends here to join the crew all together. And one thing I do want to point out is also the size of the figures, because they all do have slightly different sizes, which is actually important. And to be quite honest, with Bendy figs, I'm shocked that they're doing that. So, you know, because typically we've seen Bendy figs, there's a few things you have to kind of know about them, is they all have armatures, metal armatures inside their bodies. That kind of limits the heights that they can be. And generally, they tend to look really thick because of, I guess, how they're made. But like, whatever they're doing here with this Avatar line, they really nailed the bodies and the heights of everybody. And I mean, yeah, like Toph is the shortest of the bunch. Zuko, I think, is the tallest of the crew here. So I will say the heights are not like 100% screen accurate, totally not. And if anything, I'd say Toph is a little bit too thick, perhaps. But again, it might just be the way the outfit looks. You know, she is meant to be kind of a thicker looking character anyway. But the fact that they actually got the heights to be different with Bendy figs, that kind of blows my mind. Like, I really, really am into that. So I think these look really good just based on that information alone. So to summarize where I'm at right now in my head, I like how the heights are different. I'm really liking the facial sculpts of all these toys. I'm also liking the colors of all of them. And let's just also flip them over so you can see a little bit more of how they look from behind. That's also kind of an important part of the look. And, you know, yeah, I mean, they all look good to me. I mean, straight from like their costumes being 100% screen accurate, I'm going to say, you know, I think, yeah, I'm gonna go that far and say that, yeah, it's 100. I mean, they even got this little fold here. You know, luckily they're animated characters and they were made from Nickelodeon, so, you know, there's not going to be like all sorts of weird Marvel Cinematic Universe cuts on people and things like that, because their uniforms are what they are, and they were meant to be animated easily and efficiently. And they capture all that detail here. I mean, Noble Collection, I would say, just nailed it. This is I don't like to say this term, but they knocked this one out of the park. I feel like that's an overused term, but they really did. Like, these Avatar figures are going above and beyond my expectations. So let's move on to another part of these figures that I think is also very nice. So everybody here, let's slide them all over a little bit. So all the figures come with different accessories, but one thing they do all come with that is identical is a base. They all come with this really nice looking base here, and what's fun about this is you've got on the, basically around the circumference of this, I guess that's the perimeter maybe, I don't know math words, but all around this area here, all around this rim, you have all the symbols of the elements. So as far as like bases go, it's not the most exciting, but it feels really sturdy. It feels like it has a good weight to it. It's going to be able to support your figures. These peg holes also, you guys can see, they're pretty deep, and that is a good thing because you don't want a little shallow peg hole, because that means your guy's just going to flop right over. This makes it look like they're going to be quite secure on them, and we're going to test that in a little bit. But yeah, I like the colors. I like the shape of it. I like all this little symbol stuff around here. Very simple idea. You know, they didn't need to do much to make it look different or make it look avatar-y, but works for me. You know, so I like this base. We'll try it out in a few moments, and just so you can see how it looks from behind. It just has the little Bendy Fig logo engraved on it, and it's got some other information there. But yeah, nice looking base. We'll come back to that though, because I do want to spend some time talking about accessories, because everybody has them. And let's start here with Zuko. So Zuko comes with 2 accessories. He comes with, besides his base, he comes with his sword and a little bit of flame there. And you'll notice the flame is a little bit like tipped off end here. So yeah, I've got my Zuko over here. I believe, let's see, I don't know which hand it's meant to fit in. I'm gonna see maybe this bigger opening here. There we go. Okay, yeah, so you can get this flame to sit in his hand like this, and I guess the sword we can probably slide into the other hand. So you notice the hands are kind of like closed together, like they're gripping. I don't think it's how it's necessarily meant to be. Like with this one, I did have to actually open up the hand. It just naturally happened. So that could just be the way the paint is on it, and the paint kind of just sealed around it. Because I don't think this is going to go on. Yeah. I don't think that's going to slide on this hand because that thumb is like so tight to it. So maybe if I pull it out, we can get the sword in this hand. Yeah, that's much easier. There we go. So that's what you should be able to do. I don't quite know about this hand here. Pretty sure it's actually meant to be closed the way it is. So yeah, you have to get one accessory at a time, I guess. But yeah, you get a Zuko with a sword and this really cool looking flame effect. So 2 accessories plus the base. That's really nice value. And they are weapons that, as you saw, he can hold both of. Let's move on to Aang as well. So Aang here comes with his glider staff, and it's in the closed position. This is like a different plastic also. It's kind of like similar plastic to the base, I guess. And so, you know, it's in the closed position. You can't see any of the other bits of it, but he does have it. And I think, yeah, because his hand is already open, he can hold it, it looks like. So let's just curl his fingers. Yep, very, very easy. There you go. Staff is in his hands. I'll elevate it just so you guys can see I'm not cheating you, but it's in his hands. And yeah, that's looking good. Toph as well comes with an accessory. She has this fun little piece here. This one doesn't, you don't have to worry about attaching it to anything. It's basically a bunch of rocks coming out of the ground. So all you gotta do to use that is just literally place it flat in the ground and just put it right by your foot. There you go. I mean, that's pretty much all it is. And it looks really cool though. I mean, I think McFarlane's done something similar. Not McFarlane, I think Diamond Select did the same thing with their figures. Actually, no, McFarlane did also with their 5-inch figures. So everybody's kind of done this because that's like signature Toph, stomping on the ground and making some rocks come up. So there you go, you get it with her as well. And finally, our Katara, she also has an accessory. I think her accessory might be my favorite of the bunch. So in addition to the base, she also comes with her water pouch. And that water pouch is, it's a pretty complicated piece here because it has this strap, which you can, I was hoping, let's see, I'll find out now. You can definitely get it around her arm. I don't know about getting it over her head because her head's pretty huge. So yeah, it looks like it's not going to go around her head, unfortunately, but you do get to have it at least on her arm. But what I really like about it is it's got the water coming out of it. And that looks really nice. The water does not move. It's not meant to come out either. It's kind of just attached into the pouch, but looks really good. I mean, that's a really nice accessory. Great touch to include that in there. And a reminder again, she also has her base. So everybody's getting the base and everybody has at least one accessory. And why did I want to bring these figures vertical right now? Well, that's because I wanted to talk about articulation. And unfortunately, you know, I talk about that, but really there's the lack thereof. And that's one of the other downsides about the Noble Collection is, yeah, they're bendy figs, but unfortunately, they're very, very stiff out the box. That makes them a little hard to pose and articulate. So, you know, for example, here I've got Zuko, and we'll see how he holds up compared to the others. But, you know, in terms of them being able to pose and move, I think once you get them on the base, that's kind of the end of it. They're just very stiff, and there you go. Yeah, like I'm almost afraid to start moving them around too much because it feels like they're just going to all break apart. Like the way they're constructed, it's not really meant to move much. You know, you can, but I don't recommend it. So, you know, as far as action figures go, posability is a 0. It's an absolute 0. You know, with some more warming them up, perhaps, that might help them a lot. Like, you know, I would definitely recommend these are the kind of toys you want to get into a hot water bath or something. That's going to be your best way to really hopefully move them. But I wouldn't even do that either, because hot water would just probably mess up the armature, make it moldy. You don't want that to happen. So, you know, overall, as far as figures go, I think they look amazing. I mean, these things are knockouts as far as their appearance goes. But as far as actual action figures, you know, they kind of drop down pretty low. So for me, I consider these more an adult collectible, and that's really how they market these too. They're not really toys for kids. These are meant to be collectibles for adults, and the kind of thing you would just display out of the packaging as is. And to be quite honest, if you did it that way, I mean, I think they look like amazing pieces here. I mean, you guys have to agree with me here on this. Like, the sculpts are great, the likenesses are great, the paint job is beautiful. They really captured the expressions of them, even the body language and the looks of all of them, the heights also, I'm very happy that they got accurately. So, you know, overall, as far as an adult collectible goes, these guys are stellar. As far as playable toys, they're not. They're just not, period. I don't care what they tell you as far as like trying to market these things. These things are not toys to be played with. So, you know, on that note, for what they are, I love them. And especially with the bases on, I mean, they look really good. So, you know, I'm keeping these guys as they are. I'm going to have them displayed the way you see them right now. And yeah, they're definitely going on my display because I think the colors are great. I think the looks are great. Everything about them I really like. So I'm pretty sure you will too. And it's such an odd collectible to have in a collection, but it fits in well because they also have something kind of statuesque about them. And it works for me. You know, I think it works for me a lot. And it's a strange thing to have, but it fits in. So if you're a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is the real authentic Avatar, none of that James Cameron stuff on this channel, if you're a fan of Avatar, I think you should give these Bendy figs a try. Again, just as something for display purposes, not for any actual figure photography or posing or anything like that. But as far as just like a classy kind of collectible that looks good and is affordable, I would say that the Noble Collection Avatar figures, much like most of their other Bendy figs, are great figures to have, exceptional pieces, and I recommend them. So if you want to try some of these for yourself, go ahead and check out my description in the YouTube video below. I'm going to have links to these and probably a few other Bendy figs also from the Noble Collection that you might like. If you click those links and purchase anything from Amazon, whether it be these toys or something else entirely, it helps support this YouTube channel at no extra cost to you. So please consider doing that. So that's our detailed look at the Noble Collection Bendy figs of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah, you know, I really have a lot of good things to say about them. That's because I like them a lot. They're really cool figures. They're such a unique, interesting niche in the adult collectible market that I think it's something worth exploring more deeply. Plus, you get another Momo as part of this set, so, you know, you can never have too much Momo. So, until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today. We'll see you guys later with some more figure reviews, toy reviews, everything else we do here on this channel.